Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar on engineering your future for success. We have today with us Gianpietro Salinas, who is with us from the Consulate Institute of Technology, and he will talk to us today about undergraduate and graduate opportunities that are available to you. My name is Hani Geist. I'm the DAD representative here in the San Francisco office. And as I said, we have with us today Gianpietro Salinas, who is with us from the Consulate Institute of Technology. And today we will just very briefly talk about DAD and what DAD offers in terms of scholarships and grants. But then the majority of this presentation will be about the Consulate Institute of Technology in general, but then the English taught bachelor's degrees and the English taught graduate degrees at the Hector School of Engineering and Management. And then at the very end, we will have time for Q&A. So you will be able to ask your questions as they come along. Just type them into the question box and I will collect them for the Q&A. I'm recording this webinar, so if you feel like you want to take a look at it later, you can do so. I will send a follow-up email with the link to the recording, and you will also be able to download this presentation. If you go to your GoToWebinar box, the panel, if you go to the handout section, there is actually a handout for you available for download right now. That's the presentation you will hear about the Consulate Institute of Technology. And feel free to download it right now. If you don't get a chance to do it right now, you can also do that later on the DAD webinar page. Again, I will send out a follow-up email after the webinar, so you have that link also available at a later point. Now, before we start with the presentation on the Consulate Institute of Technology, I just briefly wanted to talk to you about DAD and what DAD offers. We are a German national agency for international academic cooperation and exchange, and simply put, we represent higher education and research abroad, which means that we do provide general information for anyone who's interested in studying in Germany. So if you have very general questions about Germany, life as a student, you can always get in touch with us and we'll be happy to assist you. But we also offer scholarships and grants for individuals to actually study in Germany or to do research in Germany. And that's available on all academic levels and in all fields. I just briefly want to talk to you about two funding opportunities. One is a study scholarship for graduates, for individuals who are interested in pursuing a graduate degree in Germany. The funding is available for up to 2 years. So if you would like to pursue a full master's degree in Germany, that's available through the DAD study scholarship. The deadline, I'll have to correct that here later before I upload it, is actually November 5th. However, the deadline is November 5th German time, so especially if you're listening from the West Coast in the US or Canada, the November 4th deadline is actually something that you should keep in mind, because November 5th, the portal for you to upload your documents will close at midnight, so you won't have as much time if you are located in the western part of the United States or Canada. So for the study scholarship, if you're currently undergraduate, a final year, you are eligible to apply, but you're also eligible to apply up to 6 years after graduation, and you'll receive a monthly stipend, but also health insurance and a travel stipend as well. You can find more about the scholarship, what you'll get with the scholarship, but also the application procedure on our DAD website. So I'll invite you to go to the website and look at it in more detail there. And then finally, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the research grant. If you want to study maybe at the Consulate Institute of Technology, but also later on maybe do some research, if you have a mentor there that you want to work with, if you started maybe studying there, but then you may go back to the United States or Canada, but you would like to keep in touch with mentors, you would like to continue with your research, we do offer research grants, short-term 1 to 6 months, and the long-term 7 to 10 months. And again, you will find more information on our website. And of course, if you have questions later on, feel free to get in touch with me. You can find more information on our DED.org website. You can subscribe to our newsletter and follow us on all social media channels. Just as a side note, this is a webinar for USA and Canada. If you're listening from somewhere else in the world, of course, you can apply to the KIT nonetheless, but please keep in mind that the scholarship opportunities that I just mentioned are available for individuals who are either currently studying in the US or Canada, or who received a degree from the US and Canada, and that also includes international students. And with that, I would like to hand over the microphone and also the presentation to my colleague at the Consulate Institute of Technology, and he will talk to you more about undergraduate and graduate opportunities in Germany.
Yes, yes, many thanks, Hani, and yes, also from my side, a very welcome from Germany, from Karlsruhe. We here actually have 7 p.m. and it's getting dark and darker. We are going towards winter, and yeah, I'm here and I'm really pleased to introduce you to the KIT, the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, which is a very small and nice city in the southwest of Germany, where a top university is located, one of the top universities in Germany, of course, in technology, but also on international basis. I think we can go on with the slides, and hopefully you can see my slide. If not, just give a sign. And
no, we can actually see it really well. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So then we can go on. So the first of all, a little introduction to the KIT. The KIT and all, let's say, the German engineering world. As you can see, I think one of the most important figures for you is also that the immigrant employment rate in Germany is very, very high. So we have many international students coming to Germany who have or who join a very good education on the university level, and the great majority is also then taken over into companies. So we are the largest, one of the largest economies in the world, and of course we are very one of the world best in exports. That means that engineering and technology is very important in Germany, and also this kind of stuff is also, let's say, on a very high educational way done by universities, which means that everything is also moved then to technology, to industry. And as one of the BBC News have said, the best engineers come from Germany. So you are, I think, in a real good environment in order to get a perfect career on a technology basis. The KIT is the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. It was actually merged by former research institutes in Karlsruhe, and the former Technical University of Karlsruhe became KIT 2009. And I think one of the most unique things is actually that we have more than 9,000 employees working at KIT. More than 6,000 are working only in research. I think this makes KIT one of the unique universities in the world, where research is made on state-of-the-art technology and where everything flows directly into lessons. And this is, I think, the great advantage that we have here, not only for the bachelor students, but also for the master students. The research focuses, the research centers actually are IT, are energy, are mobility, but everything is going to be focused and researched under this 3 lines. So, for example, we have a great test field going on in mobility, where industry and of course the KIT together are searching on new ways of mobility. We're talking about e-mobility. We're talking about full autonomous driving, and this everything is built up in a test field here, which is a very large area around of Karlsruhe, and everything can be tested on the road. And yes, and right from the research put then into practice. So as we mentioned before, we have more than 25,000 students. Currently, I think we are almost 26,000. We have many institutes and research institutes. We are more than 125, which means that, again, research is one of the main focus here in Karlsruhe. So here you can see just a few of them who already studied at Karlsruhe, and for those who are, let's say, technology driven and have a heart for technology, you can see, and I think those names who are reading here should be very famous. Henrik Hertz, who has proved electromagnetic waves, but also Carl Benz, the inventor of the car, has studied here, and then put it into practice after he graduated. Just for curiosity, the first one who drove the car was not Carl, but his wife. And once she was driving between Mannheim and Pforzheim, which is more or less 100 kilometers from in way, everything was talking about the devil is coming. But it is a real and true story. It was at this stage, at early at the late 1885, was a very curious thing. Emil Skoda, Karl Steinbuch was an informer of the information technology here, and the first email has been sent from Germany here from KIT. So, and maybe the most famous currently one is Dieter Zetsche, which is the CEO from Mercedes-Benz since 2000, and since 2009 was also industry board of the KIT. So you can see many famous people have studied here. Also important, the rankings. The rankings, as you can see, the World University rankings, of course, we are also one of the top universities. I think that for you, the most important thing is, if you can see on the left side, the QS employability ranking, which means that companies are very keen to hire people coming from KIT. And KIT in this regard is #1 in Germany. So companies knows what is getting to be research and is getting to be taught here at KIT, which means that they are very keen to take these people into their companies and just let them work on the right way. We are talking about good jobs and also very well paid. Where is Karlsruhe? I think this is a question where that everyone is would like to be answered now. So Karlsruhe is a small city with more or less 300,000 inhabitants in the southwest of Germany. We are very close to Stuttgart, as you can see on this slide, 75 kilometers away, where Porsche and Daimler-Benz and also Bosch are. Porsche and Daimler-Benz. Daimler stands for Mercedes-Benz. In international way, Mercedes-Benz is much more famous. And they are car producers, and Bosch is one of the biggest suppliers of cars, but we have a lot of suppliers here in the region. On the left side, we have Daimler's biggest track plant in the world, which is a few kilometers from Karlsruhe. And on the north side, BASF, Siemens. You can see many big companies are here located and are acting worldwide. We have also many so-called hidden champions. Those are usually technology companies who are acting and leading worldwide in a certain sector, but they are not famous as they are maybe suppliers of bigger ones. And this is why we call them here in Germany hidden champions. And they also have very good jobs, very good opportunities to do internships and so on, and also to get hired afterwards. Where we are, you can see in the back the Karlsruhe Castle, which is the most central place actually here in Karlsruhe, and you can see also where we are, our building. I'm sitting next to the arrow here downstairs, and we are really close to the center. Even the campus south, where the student life is going on, is only 5 minutes walk from here. So you can see we are very central, very in middle of life here in Karlsruhe, and you have only a few walks to do to also meet other persons, other students. We have here, of course, also campus accommodation where you can stay in our campus. So we have here not only our studying area and modern rooms, shared living areas, shared kitchen, of course, but we are also our seminar rooms and equipment here. In any case, many lessons also have been will be held on the campus south, which is 5 minutes walk from here, especially those who need laboratories. And so we'll mix up together, not only here from the students, but also with those who are studying actually on the campus at KIT. We are here for the international schools at the KIT. As I mentioned before, the KIT is the German State University, and we are here at the international department of the KIT. And under this roof, we have special schools, and especially we have those two which you can see on those slides. One is the Consulate School, a mechanical engineering college, and on the other side we have the Hector School, which is the technology business school of the KIT. I will go further into detail right now in the next slide. So let's start with the Consulate School. The Consulate School is our Bachelor of Science program in Mechanical Engineering International. Everything, of course, is fully taught in English. And it is actually a talent pool for international mechanical engineers, which would like to study here in Germany and also get the chance then to do research or to work on technology companies here in Germany. What makes Consulate unique? I mean, of course, we have the international orientation, we have elite teaching, small classes, where we try to and face, yes, the exchange in between the students. For example, if you see if you take this the same degree on the German side, where everything is taught in German, by the way, you have 600, 700, 800 persons and students attending classes. We have here small classes with 30, 40 students where an exchange has been guaranteed. Of course, we have career guidance, study career guidance, where we help you in how to build up your career, your future. What you can do regarding internships, for example, where can you apply, how you can apply, for example, but also if you have any problems during the studies, we are here and give you a hand if you need any help in order to improve, for example, your performances. We have a strong industry network, which means that we are related to industry for not only for lessons but also for internship, for example, and of course we have here perfect location, future engineering technologies, which is very known here at KIT, and as I told you before, also the companies realize the high education that you can get here. The duration is of the Bachelor of Science is 3 years. We always count the years here in Germany in semesters. The tuition fees for EU students, for those who are coming from Europe, are 7,150. For those who are coming from who are better, I think it's better mentioned, for those who are not coming from or not EU citizens. We have also in US many EU citizens staying, which means for them the price is a little bit lower than for those who are not non-EU citizens. As you can see, for non-EU citizens, it's 8,650 euro per semester. Everything is in English. Of course, you will get a KIT Bachelor of Science degree with 180 ECTS points. ECTS credit points is a system which is mainly done here in Europe, where you can also study after bachelor wherever you want in Europe through all other universities. We always start in October with one intake per year, with a pre-semester in August, and the deadline for application is April 30th. We are opening our application platform on December 1st. What makes also unique this program is the smart manufacturing industry. This is only for those who are studying Consulate School. As you can see, also one of our former students on the right side is here. So what you can do, we have really unique hands-on industry training where you can spend, for example, 2 weeks at Daimler, at Mercedes-Benz, and work on project and see how engineering actually is going on. Engineering is put in practice then by hand from employees there or from engineers there. And you can also have the great chance in this smart factory program to have and to do a bachelor thesis within a company. This is pretty common in Germany. It's not always easy to get, but you have the chance in one of those big partners which we have to have the possibility to do bachelor thesis within the company in combination, cooperation, of course, with the KIT, which means that you can do a hands-on project as a bachelor thesis in a company. And this is actually a big step into a company for future hirements also. Of course, we have swing knowledge from industry experts, management skills, and so on, which you always will learn in this field, because you are, of course, surrounded by people, by engineers who have a certain experience and will guide you into industry. The Discover of World Engineering is for those people who maybe are a little bit younger than do maybe their college degree in 2 years. We have summer programs which we offer, where you can learn in 1 week in Karlsruhe at end of June and beginning of July, or in 1 week, in 5 days, for example, in Suzhou, China, for those coming from this region, where you can see what is engineering like. So the summer school helps students to understand what is the future of engineering, what means to be an engineer. So you have many projects, many hands-on projects where you build something, where you have a project, for example. But of course, in this week, we also have leisure activities. We will spend also a day at a manufacturer mill here at Rastatt, which is very close to Karlsruhe from Mercedes-Benz. So, and you will go also to a museum, for example, for Mercedes-Benz. So you will see here, you will understand what is engineering. And if you don't have that clear, your ideas regarding your future, I think this will make you a better will light up a better, in a better way, your ideas. And I think will clarify your ideas to get an engineer then in future. So, yeah. This is for the Carl Benz School. I think for every question, we can put questions, by the way, or have questions after my presentation. I think we will go on now with the Hector School. The Hector School, as I mentioned before, is a technology business of the KIT. We here offer executive master programs for students or for bachelor graduates who already gained a certain work experience after the bachelor degree. So we have here technology topics where you can study with management know-how combined in one master program for those people, again, who have a certain experience already in company. So this is, of course, the target group, the high potential industry. In Germany, the great majority of the students who are coming from the German companies are supported financially also by the programs, but we also have many international students, more than 40%, as the slide shows right now, where students have are coming from all over the world and studying here for the Hector School, don't have an employer on the background. They use their time to do internships or any other part-time job, and then study at Hector School. We have 6 programs, as you can see on this slide, which we offer. Shortly, I will go through this ones, starting on the top right one, Production Operations Management. The blue icon is based on production processes, on supply chain management, but also in general, talking about Industry 4.0 with a target of full automation production systems. This is part of this program. If we go one low, we have management of product development. In this program, you will learn, or you will get the tools, for example, to do an innovation or further development of a existing product within a company, where you have a project from first module to the last module, where you will build up a robot, for example, and get the tool how to build up something. Also, talking about markets, also talking about usability for customers in future. This is also what you can learn in this program. Below this, the red icon is Mobility Systems Engineering and Management. We are talking here about mobility in general, of course, especially automotive driven. So we have here all topics, or let's say all state-of-the-art technology and all state-of-the-art topics which belongs to the current mobility world and mobility market. We have here on the one hand, driver assistance systems, which you can learn and which you can build up better after the studies, but also we have the topic of e-mobility, of power strength, for example, battery technology and all components which are here in this field. If we go on the left side, we have energy engineering and management. We, of course, as the name says, are focused on renewables. We're talking about all renewables system and all the technologies who are currently done, and also who are future oriented in renewables, and have a comparison between the conservative and also the new markets which are coming up in the future. And I think it's also a very, very interesting program for those who might going more into energy direction. Then on the top of this, the pink one is Information Systems Engineering and Management. Here we are talking about an IT master, which is not really focused only on IT graduates, but also for those who maybe are mechanical engineers or maybe are economics, but in a certain way are related on IT in their companies. We are talking about, I think you may know this, also in the US, a digital transformation within companies. Everything is getting digitalized, and for those transformation, you need all people coming from all sectors, all departments, not only the classical IT or computer scientists, but also those people who are working in other segments, and put them together in this program. Last but not least, we have the yellow icon, Financial Engineering, where we are studying mainly financial topics like risk management, asset management, and where you try to analyze also, for example, innovation project and investments, and also the risk behind certain investments. I think every program which I mentioned here, for all those 6 programs, I think one of the would say great buzzword here is artificial intelligence. You can use it in everything, not only in production lines, but also machine learning, and artificial intelligence is also done, of course, in mobility systems, but also in IT. So you need a certain, or you see a certain synergies also for through all the programs, and you can see here all current technologies are focused on every program which we have, or which I mentioned here. As you can see in the middle, or to explain, let's say, the circle in the middle, we have every program with 10 modules of each 2 weeks. 5 of those modules are technology driven, and 5 of them are management modules, which means the management modules are the same for every program, and the 5 technology modules is the expertise into deep of each program. So you go into deep in the technology, and on the large side on the management topics. We have here a few key facts of the master program which I was talking about right now. The program duration is more or less 20 months. Program structure, as I mentioned right now, are 10 times 2 weeks. Within those 2 weeks you have lessons and exams, and once one module is finished, you have actually free time until the following module starts. So those people who are employed and who are working, they go back to their employers, continue to work as usual, and come back to our campus when the following module is starting. We have 5 management modules, 5 engineering modules, plus master thesis, which usually is done in companies. But of course, you have also the chance, if you don't have an employer or you don't have the chance to get a master thesis done in industry, of course, you have the chance to do it here at KIT. The program costs are 30,000 euro plus the KIT enrollment fees. The enrollment fees are very low in Germany, more or less 300 euros per year. 30,000 euro is for the whole program of 2 years, which usually can be paid in 3 different installments of each 10,000 euro. The final degree, of course, is a KIT Master of Science with 90 CTS points, which enables you also to do a PhD if you want. Not many are doing this, but we have a small amount of students who are actually doing now a PhD. We also here start always in October. The 2018, which was a few weeks ago, was October 1st. Accordingly, 2019 will start on 30th of September, because this is a Monday actually, and it goes into the first week of October. We have here a rolling application process, which means that we don't have an official deadline in order to apply, but we always highly suggest to apply as soon as possible, because once we have the documentation here inside, we check everything, and then you will have also an interview with a program director of each program, depending on which program you're applying to. And after this discussion, the program director then will finally decide about your official admission. But usually, if it comes through our desk and then goes to the program director, means that in 99% of the cases, usually you are already admitted, or you will most probably be admitted. We have here a few admission requirements of those two groups. One of the left side, we can talk about shortly of the Consulate School, about the bachelor. Admission deadline is, as I told you, April 30th of each year. You need, besides your college degree, of course, the A levels, which you usually knew as have the general SAT score. We are talking about the general, not the subject SAT, with a score with a minimum 1,200 points. We get certificates of secondary education in excellent grades in math and physics. This is what you should have. You don't need really a CV. We have a English language proficiency, which in your case shouldn't be that a problem because you always speak English, but we have people and students coming from all over the world where it's not normal that you do English tests. And of course, professional experience. You don't need for the bachelor, but of course it helps you in application if you can show that you are doing something related to a technique or something related besides your curriculum at school. Of course, also a letter of motivation, what we need at Consulate School, which motivates you and which explains us why you would like to apply for this program. On the right side, we have then the admission requirements for the Hector School. As I told you before, we have a rolling application process for our masters. We need a bachelor certificate or a diploma, whatever you have. It is generally the first academic degree which we need. We need a CV, of course, because we have to see how much work experience that you have. An English language proficiency, of course, as mentioned before, as also for the bachelors. Professional experience is here very important, as we are an executive master programs. We have here people who have always work experience. In this case, we need 1 to 2 years after your bachelor degree. So if your certificate shows that you finished your bachelor studies in 2018, let's say October 2018, then you will be eligible only for 2019 or 2020. This, and of course you have to prove that you are employed and you get this experience actually after your bachelor degree. And we need a letter of recommendation from your company. If you are getting supported, if you're not getting support from a company and you're leaving a company for good to be here in Germany, it's not always mandatory to send a letter of recommendation. But in any case, talking about both programs, if you have any detailed questions also regarding the admission requirements, please contact us at any time afterwards, and we can discuss where are the solutions and which individual issues you have for the one or the other program. This was very quick, as we don't have that much time, in order to introduce you to our international environment here at KIT. You can see also myself here down, and you can also send me an email or drop a call whenever you want. And I think with this slide I can finish. If you have any questions, if I understand correctly, we can just answer the questions now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you very much for this comprehensive presentation on the Consulate Institute of Technology. As you've heard, there is a lot of information you can find on the website, but also in the handout. Again, if you logged on a little bit later, feel free to download it right now in the handout section, but you can also download it later once I send the follow-up email. You will be able to watch the recording again, and you will also be able to download the DAD presentation, but also the KIT presentation with the details on both the undergraduate and the graduate program. We don't have that much time left, but I would still like to open up the floor for some questions from the audience. If you have them, feel free to ask them now. Again, you will have our contact information also in the follow-up email if you can't think of any questions right now, but are interested in more on the KIT or maybe the DAD funding that's available. Are there any questions from the audience? Maybe in the meantime, I will ask questions. Do you have, so you mentioned that there are quite a few very famous alumni from KIT. Would you be able to speak a little bit maybe about just the average kind of alumnus of the average alumna, where they work afterwards, especially for international students? Do you know like what the percentages, for example, for international students maybe coming from the US or Canada, in them finding maybe a position in Germany if they're interested, or maybe if they go back to the US or Canada where they are now? Do you have maybe one or two examples for that?
So we have, I mean, of course, I don't have the names, unfortunately, right now, but we have many international students studying at KIT, not only here on the English side, but also on the German side. And many of those who I know from our school, from the Hector School, they have usually very good positions also in Germany. The main of those who actually studied here are also staying in Germany, or their plan was at the beginning to stay in Germany to work. And they have, they usually had or they get hired very soon after the master degree, for example, or also the bachelor degree. And I can tell you more that usually for the bachelor students, they have a very great and very big job market here offered from the companies, especially surrounded by Karlsruhe, where they are already just 1 year before graduating, they are looking for the new engineers where they can hire them, and they give many opportunities just to have a look in or an insight into a company and then get hired afterwards. So the rates of those students, I'm talking about the international ones, of those international students who really get a good job afterwards is very high. Usually the companies are looking not really into the nation or the country where they're coming from. Of course, it would help if they can speak a little bit German, but they're looking especially in the contents and in that what they learn actually from KIT and what they research actually in KIT, and the ratio of those students who are getting a very good hirement afterwards is, I think, very high. I would say that almost every student is getting a good job right after, or gets a good job offer at least right after your bachelor degree.
Great, thank you. We do have a question on short-term opportunities at KIT. The main topic of this webinar was to introduce to you the undergraduate and graduate opportunities, but maybe if you could just briefly talk about, in addition to the summer opportunities that you mentioned earlier in your presentation, is it possible maybe for students to just study at KIT maybe initially for a semester or for an academic year, maybe because they are settled here in the US or in Canada, and they may not be able to leave for that long, or maybe they just want to get a sense of the university first? Would you be able to address that briefly?
This is quite individual questions, not that very simple to respond, because we here at the Hector School or at the bachelor's at the Consulate School, where we offer the bachelor program, usually students are applying for the program and they stay here usually. Of course, the KIT as a university has cooperation with many universities worldwide, of course also in the US and in Canada, but also in Japan, but also in China and wherever here in Europe. So to address this question, I think the best way is to get in contact directly with the KIT career service or with the cooperation service international in universities. There is a special section which is doing this. But if the one who asked the question would like to have a special address or a special email, I can check this. Just drop me an email and I will send you the contact details of those persons. It's not me who is getting the cooperation doing, but I can send you, and I send your question to the right person, and there you can ask. I know that there are exchange programs going on with all universities all over the world, so I'm pretty sure that you are able to come for 6 months here and then go back to US as a kind of exchange program. This is a normal thing which is been done, I think, by almost every student here in Germany.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so if you have questions, feel free to answer the email that I will send as a follow-up. You will have my contact information, of course, in the follow-up email, but I will also CC Gianpietro in the email, so you can just respond to that directly, and then if he's not able to help you right away, he will put you in touch with the right person. Wonderful. So that's all the time we have today. Again, if you have any questions at a later point, do feel free to get in touch with us. I'm sure maybe some of the questions will come up once you visit our websites. And so please feel free to revisit the material that's available to you today. And then do feel free to reach out to us for any follow-up questions. So thank you very much to Gianpietro, to Germany. It's already pretty late, so I don't want to keep you much longer in the office, but I thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and to all attendees that listen today, thank you for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, do get in touch with us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes, thank you also from my side, from Germany, and it was a pleasure to introduce you our programs, and of course with the hope that maybe we can have some students or some applicants from US. It would be really a great opportunity for you and also for us to know you better. Thank you also, Hani, to this opportunity, and yes, have a nice day in US.
Thank you. You have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.